FDA advisors reject a plan to give booster shots to most Americans. We go in depth to explain the reasons why.
We understand now that this is a wrong decision that we took.
San Diego parents begging others to get vaccinated after their son caught a rare illness linked to COVID.
And the protesters who say Congressman Scott Peters has betrayed one of his party's core issues.
ABC 10 News at 6 starts now.
Millions of Americans could start getting COVID booster shots next week after a key vote today. Good evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. It's a more limited plan than the one first announced by the White House. A panel of FDA advisors voted in favor of a Pfizer booster given 6 months later for people 65 and up and those at high risk from the disease. Now, that includes people with underlying conditions and occupational risks, such as healthcare workers. Our ABC 10 News anchor Derek Stahl is going in depth to explain why the panel backed off a broader proposal.
And we do have a unanimous 18 out of 18 who voted yes.
The FDA's influential Vaccine Advisory Committee voted unanimously for a COVID booster compromise. The panel of outside experts was asked to figure out whether a third dose of the Pfizer vaccine is safe and effective and whether it's necessary. Pfizer had initially asked the group to recommend boosters for everyone 16 and up, but the panel rejected that.
I think the decision makes a lot of sense.
La Jolla Institute for Immunology professor Dr. Shane Crotty says members had a tough time seeing the benefits of a booster in younger people.
And essentially the FDA said, you really haven't provided enough safety data for the type of broad request that you're making. You know, they provided safety data from a couple of hundred people who had gotten the third dose. And we hold vaccines up to a higher bar than that.
Pfizer had argued the U.S. needs to roll out boosters broadly. Otherwise, it risks an extra 5 million infections a year among the vaccinated.
There is clear erosion of vaccine protection over time against COVID-19, and emerging data indicates loss of protection against hospitalization.
The company pointed to the situation in Israel. During their latest wave, 60% of Israelis who got severely ill were vaccinated with 2 Pfizer doses. But when the country started rolling out third doses in July, the Israelis found it restored protection to about 95% and cut hospitalizations by half.
There are many reasons why Israel is not the United States. It's a much smaller population. It's much more homogeneous. And it comes down to how you define severe disease.
UC San Francisco's Dr. Peter Chinhong says Israel has a different definition of severe disease. They count cases with lower oxygen levels and elevated breathing, not simply people who are sick enough to be hospitalized. By the U.S. standard, vaccines have performed well here, with effectiveness against hospitalization ranging from 75 to 95%. Still, people at high risk tend to be older, so Dr. Chinhong says the FDA landed on a compromise.
There still isn't a lot of evidence that even people at high risk of complications are going to the hospital in droves who are vaccinated. But I think it makes sense that you'd want to protect that population if at all possible.
President Biden had initially outlined a plan for all Americans to get booster shots starting Monday, but that won't happen. If the CDC signs off, people 65 and up, healthcare workers, and individuals at high risk could start getting boosters at the end of next week. Derek Stahl, ABC 10 News.
The CDC will have the final say after a meeting Wednesday. As for Moderna, regulators will decide whether to authorize boosters at the end of the month. They'll review Johnson & Johnson later. Those boosters could begin in November. A grim COVID milestone in San Diego County. The county reported another 8 deaths today, pushing our total above the 4,000 mark. On the positive side, our daily cases were once again well below 1,000. You can stay on top of any new developments with coronavirus by downloading the 10 News app. A free version is available in the App Store.
The man who shot up a Poway synagogue in 2019 has now pleaded guilty to more than 100 federal charges. ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala is live at the downtown federal courthouse with a look at what this means for John Earnest. Mimi.
Hi, Kim. So he has that state case, which he already pleaded guilty to, and then he has the federal case happening here going at the same time. Now, cameras weren't allowed inside of this federal courthouse, but Ernest walked in shackled and remained emotionless the whole time as he entered that second guilty plea.
John T. Ernest, the 22-year-old man who admitted to carrying out a hate-filled shooting spree at a Poway synagogue, pleading guilty Friday to a 113-count federal hate crime indictment. Most of the charges carrying life sentences and hefty fines. In April of 2019, Ernest opened fire on congregants inside of the Chabad of Poway, killing 60-year-old Lori Gilbert Kay and injuring 3 others, including the rabbi, a young girl, and her uncle. Cameras were not allowed inside of the federal courtroom, but Friday, as a judge asked him several yes or no questions, Ernest admitted to planning the attack on Jewish people because of his hatred for them, purchasing the assault rifle, writing and posting an open letter on social media, then carrying out the attack. In addition to that, he also admitted to trying to burn down an Escondido mosque a month before, while 7 people were inside because of his hatred for Muslims as well. According to the plea agreement, a sentence of life in prison plus 30 years will be recommended. Ernest also pleaded guilty to the charges in the state's separate case recently, and he's scheduled to be sentenced for that on September 30th.
And as for the federal charges that he pleaded guilty to today, he's expected to be sentenced on that on December 28th. We're live downtown. Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
Thank you, Mimi. San Diego Congressman Scott Peters is getting criticized for his vote this week on drug prices.
Hey, hey, go home! Peters Street has got to go!
Today, protesters marched outside Peters' office on Executive Drive. They're upset that Peters, a Democrat, voted this week against having Medicare negotiate lower drug prices, which is a key part of President Biden's domestic agenda. The protesters say Peters is bowing to the wishes of drug companies, which have contributed nearly $1 million to his campaign.
We want him to pay more attention to his constituents than he's paying to Big Pharma. 3 out of 4 people in District 52, in Peters' district, want drug prices to be lower because they think they're unreasonably priced right now.
A spokesperson for Representative Peters says that he has proposed an alternative drug pricing plan that lowers out-of-pocket costs even more than the measure he voted against in the committee.
The family and friends of a teenager shot and killed in University City just a week ago are getting together tonight for a vigil. Our ABC 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo joins us live with how the family is trying to keep their daughter's memory alive. Laura.
Yeah, Steve, and the family is planning on gathering and getting together here at 6:30, where they will wait for the sunset to honor Irene Salgado Aceves. Now, I spoke to her aunt a couple of days ago, and she tells me that the family is still devastated by this sudden loss. Now, Irene was just 19 years old when she was shot last Friday. San Diego police found her here in this parking lot in the front passenger seat of the car she was riding in with a gunshot wound to her chest. According to police, the teen was with 2 others in the car heading on Miramar Road when she was shot. Detectives found a gun in the car and arrested a 17-year-old boy that was riding with her. The family tells me the teen loved kids, had a contagious smile, and also a big heart. Now, again, that vigil is set to start here in about 30 minutes. The family tells me they are planning on waiting for the sunset to honor her and try to keep her memory alive despite the tragedy. Reporting live in University City, Laura Acevedo, ABC 10 News.
Laura, thank you. New York real estate heir Robert Durst has been convicted of his best friend's murder. Late today, a Los Angeles jury found him guilty of killing Susan Berman back in 2000. Prosecutors say it was to cover up the disappearance of his wife back in 1982. Durst was only on trial for killing Berman, but is suspected of killing his missing wife and later a man in Texas. His sentencing is scheduled for October 18.
A fraternity at San Diego State is being temporarily suspended for violating the student code of conduct. The university ruled that Sigma Alpha Epsilon was guilty of alcohol, hazing, and safety infractions. Social gatherings for all Greek life organizations are supposed to be alcohol-free. The fraternity will be suspended through the end of the year and then on probation through May.
Governor Gavin Newsom will get yet another chance to pick a justice on the California Supreme Court. Justice Mariano Florentino Cuellar announced that he is leaving the court next month to head to an international think tank. Newsom's office says he will look for replacement candidates in the coming months who reflect the state's diversity. This will be Newsom's second appointment to the High Court.
The helicopter that CAL FIRE uses to rescue people is now equipped with a paramedic. So when the helicopter rescues someone from San Diego's backcountry, they'll be able to get medical attention right away. The new capabilities have already been used 7 times in the 1 week since the upgrade. The paramedics riding along get trained to do their work in the air instead of on the ground.
There are predictions of lower gas prices in our future. Regular is now averaging about $4.34 in San Diego County, virtually unchanged from a week ago. But an auto club spokesman says there is plenty of supply right now in Southern California, so we should start to see substantial price drops very soon. Gas has gone up $1.12 since the start of the year.